If you've been following Dogman's adventures, then you already know this universe is packed with fun, excitement, and mysteries. But are you really sure you know all the secrets hidden in the Dogman movie and graphic novels?
Hey, I can see my house from here!
One of the biggest mysteries that's never been answered is how Petey hurt his tail. In the 7th Dogman comic, For Whom the Ball Rolls, Grandpa is talking to little Petey, and during that scene he almost spills the truth about what really happened to Petey's tail. Everyone knows Petey's dad only has fun when he's up to no good, and anyone who knows this character knows he can be seriously evil. The most popular theory is that during a fight, Petey's dad did something really terrible to his own son, but to this day, fans have never gotten an answer to this mystery. Chances are we'll only find out the truth when the second movie hits theaters. But don't worry, you don't have to wait that long to uncover the 12 unbelievable mysteries that have never been solved in the Dogman universe. It's time for another Cinewave. Do George and Harold actually exist inside the Dogman universe, or was that just a trick in the movie to mess with fans? If you're new to the Dogman world, here's the deal. This entire universe was created by George and his friend Harold, who are characters from the Captain Underpants series. During the final battle in the Dogman movie, we see the two boys sitting on a park bench watching everything unfold. According to the rules of this universe, the boys are the storytellers. They're the ones telling fans what's going on. We know this is meant to be an Easter egg in the movie, but showing the boys inside the story opens up a major mystery. Do they actually exist inside the Dogman world or not? That question still hasn't been answered, and maybe it never will, because since they're technically the creators of Dogman, it kinda makes sense that Dave Pilkey wouldn't let them fully enter the storyline. But if they do exist, that would mean they can travel between worlds, and you know what that means? Simple. Captain Underpants is totally showing up sooner or later, and we can't wait for it to happen. Dogman is a story where a dog's head was placed on a human body, which, fine. But what exactly is the life spray? In this universe, there's a super powerful gas that can literally bring things to life, and that's why most people think it's actually some kind of magical potion. You could say it's made of vitamins and spinach, but even though those foods are super healthy, it's hard to believe they're that powerful. In the movie, the spray was even used to bring Flippy back to life, and in the comics, this gas once made a sausage start talking. It might mean that magic actually exists in Dogman's world, and if that's true, then the comics haven't revealed that secret to fans yet. Or maybe the life spray is some kind of alien gas from another planet, and that's why it has the power to make anything walk and talk. Whatever the truth is, it's a massive mystery, and we seriously want to know what this spray really is. Is it magical? Or could it be some crazy blend of fruit and vitamins? Speaking of magic, maybe that's the only reason the town's mayor ever got elected, because she's so evil that it makes zero sense for the people of the city to have voted for someone so awful. This mystery gets even darker when you realize that the mayor is actually a villain who's trying to take over the city for good. The people of OK City have no idea about the mayor's evil plans, and it might make sense if she at least pretended to be nice to fool everyone, but she doesn't even do that. You saw it in the movie. She literally admitted she put her own brother in charge of the cat prison, and yes, that's 100% illegal. Maybe people think she's a strong leader, and they need someone like her to fight off all the villains, like those chaotic years when Petey was going wild. But what the city doesn't know is that she wants to get rid of the police so she can replace them with an army of robots that only follow her orders, and finally take full control of everyone's lives. Will this actually happen? We still don't have the answer, but it's a mystery how anyone voted for her in the first place. Are you more like the evil mayor or our hero? Drop a hashtag Dogman in the comments so we can get to know ya. Do you know ADHD, the battle robot Petey built? In the movie, this robot did something really strange, even though it's supposed to be super high-tech. Lil Petey asked the robot to find his dad. In other words, he wanted to know where Petey was. But if you were paying attention, you know this ended up bringing Grandpa Crud back to the cat family's life. Lil Petey is a clone, so when he asked ADHD to find his dad, he wasn't expecting the robot to track down Crud. Sure, it makes sense that the robot might get confused and think it was talking about the original Petey, but here's the big question. How exactly did ADHD find Crud? If the machine used Lil Petey's DNA, that means ADHD can track genetic data. But there's a problem. For that to work, Petey would have had to upload the DNA of every single cat in the city into the robot, because that's the only way ADHD could pick one specific cat out of thousands. So how did Petey even get all that DNA in the first place? That's one of the biggest unsolved mysteries. ADHD may have found Crud by accident, but the fact that it had that information is a secret the author never explained. Does the world of Dogman actually exist, or was it just made up by Harold and George? That's one of the biggest questions that's never been answered in the comics or the movie. As you already know, the boys are the creators of Dogman, which means in the Captain Underpants universe, they're the ones who made the Dogman comics. But there's a really cool possibility. Maybe Dogman does exist in the Captain Underpants universe, especially since George and Harold show up in the movie, and not just because of that. There's already been a crossover, yep, a shared comic where both characters meet, and as every fan knows, it's only a matter of time before Captain Underpants pops up in a Dogman movie. This is the kind of mystery that could get solved in future adaptations, but if it turns out to be true, then everything changes, because the heroes will have to team up to stop a huge villain. Dogman only exists because Officer Knight cut the wrong wire on a bomb set by Petey, and that leads us to wonder, would the cop have survived if he cut a different wire? The answer is probably no. If you look closely at the building where Petey planted that bomb, the sign behind Officer Knight clearly says the building is abandoned, so there was no one inside. Petey made sure to place the bomb in a location where there would be no victims, and on top of that, there was a warning sign saying no one was around. But does that mean the bomb was going to explode no matter what? Because if Petey chose a safe place, far from people, then maybe there was no way to actually defuse it. That's a mystery we'll probably never get an answer to. Did Officer Knight really cut the wrong wire? Or did Petey trick him on purpose? But what would life have been like for Greg and Officer Knight if they had never fused into Dogman? We know Petey would have never created his clone, and that means he probably wouldn't have changed sides and become good. Villains like Flippy and Piggy would have kept on destroying the city. But what about Officer Knight? Most likely, he would have kept Greg the dog as his partner, and by now he'd be married to his girlfriend Alice. Being the best cop in town, at some point he would have been promoted to sheriff when the police chief retired. And he would have had to go head-to-head with the evil mayor, who's always wanted to replace all police officers with an army of robots that only follow her orders. But all of this is just theory, because we're never going to know what life would have been like for Officer Knight and Greg the dog. Would their future have been that different? The city really needs Dogman, so maybe the original comic book reality is the better one. And we need you too, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell.
I love it!
Remember Flat Petey? That was Petey's first clone, and we never found out what happened to him. It's one of the biggest Dogman mysteries that fans everywhere want an answer to. When Petey was in prison, he used the life spray to bring a drawing of himself to life. But that clone ended up escaping and causing all kinds of chaos around town. At some point, Flat Petey ran off and never came back. He wanted to be free. But where did he go? Could it be that since he was made of paper, Flat Petey got caught in the rain and just dissolved? Will Dogman ever be able to speak? That's a mystery author Dave Pilkey has never answered. Our hero has the head of a dog and the body of Officer Knight, which means he's more likely to have Greg's memories. Everyone knows dogs don't talk, and that's why the main character has never said a single word. But here's the problem. The villains, Piggy, Flippy, and even Petey, are all animals that talk like regular humans. So the big question is, what's stopping Dogman from talking? In this universe, animals can speak just fine. Maybe Dogman will finally talk to the other characters in the next movie. Could that really happen? That's a secret Dave Pilkey and DreamWorks Studios are clearly saving for later. Get ready, because this might be one of the coolest mysteries in all of Dogman. How exactly does Big Jim sneak out of jail every single night to fight crime? Jim is a cat who was wrongly imprisoned. People think he stole a donut, which isn't true. But every night, our hero transforms into Commander Cupcake and hits the streets to battle real villains. But wait a minute, how does he escape from his cell every night and sneak back in without anyone noticing? How does Big Jim pull it off? Maybe the police are secretly helping him, but they really shouldn't be. Good thing the upcoming comics are going to feature Big Jim as the main character. Maybe then we'll finally get some answers. Another huge mystery from the Dogman movie is the giant robot Petey built. We all know the cat is a genius, but how did he manage to build such a massive machine without anyone noticing? How did Petey transport all the parts to his hideout? Which isn't even a secret, since there are posters everywhere saying he lives right there. The police should have known there was a giant robot in the city, even if it was hidden. It's basically impossible to keep something that big a secret. We may never get an answer to this one, but then again, we're talking about a universe where cats talk, fish fly, and humans have dog heads. A giant robot seems pretty normal, honestly. And what's even more normal? You sticking around with us. So we've picked out 2 more videos for you to check out and have some fun. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.